Okay, we're on Terumot, Perek Chet, Mishnah Yud Aleph, the second to last Mishnah in the 8th Perek of Terumot. In previous Mishnayot, in the last 3 Mishnayot, we've learned about 3 different cases where a person had to decide what to do with Terumah that's specific. So let's go back just to review what they are, because our Mishnah is going to refer to them. The first one was, I had a chavit of Terumah shenoled ba safek Terumah. So let's say I have 2 barrels, two barrels of wine, of Terumah wine, one of them, and I know Sheretz touched one of them, and I don't know which one. So in this case, Rabbi Eliezer says, I have to take care of it, I have to watch it, I have to make sure it doesn't become Tamei, even though it's Safek. And Rabbi Yeshua said, I can put it in a place where it's going to become Tamei, I can uncover it so that I can get rid of it. So Rabbi Yeshua took the lenient approach, or the more radical approach, and said, you can get rid of it. The second case we had was where a barrel of Terumah, it fell into an upper wine press, and I had Tamei chul in the bottom, and it was dripping down. And the question was, Rabbi Eliezer says, I cannot take action to actively save the chulin in the bottom by making the stuff on the top tamei. Okay, that was Rabbi Yeshua said, in that case, I could actively make the Terumah tamei to save the chulin. The third case we had was a case where my shemen, my oil spilled. So Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua, in that case, could I actively make the Terumah oils tamei in order to save it as much as I can, or let it seep into the ground? And again, Rabbi Yoshua felt that in all of these cases, since it's going to be lost anyway, I can actively make the Terumah Tamei. And therefore, as we're going to see in our Mishnah, the injunction against guarding against making Terumah Tamei wasn't referring to these cases. And this is what the Mishnah is saying. Ve'alzo, and about this one and that one, both this and that, Amar Rabbi Yoshua said, Lo zu hi ha-Terumah, she'ani mushar alea militam'ah. This is not the Terumah that I am warned against, that the halacha prohibits me from making tamei. Elami lo ochlam, now let it eat that Terumah because it's safek tamei tuma. Says the Bartuna, alzo ve'alzo, alzo shenolad la safek tuma, that which I had a safek tuma, i.e. in Mishnah Chet. Ve'alzo she'olech ve'ibud, or whether it's wine or oil that's going to be lost, which is tet and yud. In all of those cases, Amar Rabbi Yehoshua she'ena muzar al tumatan. You're not warned. Muzhar azhara means there's no lav, there's no isur Torah to make it tamei, because they're going to become tamei anyway. It's safek tuma anyway. You have to throw it away anyway. But there is a prohibition. The Torah says you have a bishmerit. You have to guard truma. You have to guard the truma. So we're going to see what is the case. So in that case, in those cases where they're tamei, I can't eat it. But there's no prohibition, or it's a safek tamei, I can't eat it. Rather, I'm not allowed to eat it. Ubal titama case, Rabbi Yeshua agrees there's a prohibition against making Terumah tamei. So what is that case? Haya over mimakom lemakom kikarot of Terumah biyado. You're walking from place to place, and you have loaves of Terumah in your hand. So Amar lo nachri, some non-Jew comes to you and looks at you and says, Tainli achat mehem ve'atamah. Give me one of these loaves, and I'm gonna make it tamei with my hands. I'm gonna touch it and make it tamei. Ve'im lav, and if not, harani mitamei et kula. I'm gonna make them all tamei. So here again, you have this very fascinating case where do you give him one and say, and in the process, you're actively making it tamei, you're letting him make it tamei, but you're saving the other ones, or you ignore him and he does what he does. So in this case, Rabbi Eliezer omer yitma et kula, v'al yiten lo achat mehem v'yitama. Rabbi says you cannot take an active participation, you cannot have an active role in making something tamei, okay, in making Terumah tamei. Okay, so you don't give him any and he does what he does. But you can't give him one. Rabbi Yoshua says, Yaniach lefanav achat mehem ala sala. It's interesting. In this case, even Rabbi Yoshua agrees that you can't give it to him, hand it over to him. You can't let him actively make it tamei. But what you can do is you designate one of them, okay, you don't give it to him, you put him on the ground, and you say, do what you want to do in the interest of saving the rest of them. Look at the Bartuna, okay? Rabbi Yoshua, in this case, Yaniach lefanav achat ala sala. Even Rabbi Kiva says, you are muzar al bal titamei. You are warned, you are enjoined from making it tamei, but if you put it on the ground, in order to prevent the others from becoming tamei, you have to put it on the ground, on a rock. You can't make it tamei with your hands. So it's like it's a difficult choice, because either you do nothing, and then everything becomes tamei, or you do something, but you take an active part. Even in this case, Rabbi Yoshua agrees you're not allowed to take an active role in making the Terumah tamei, because that's an isur d'oraita. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, as always, email me at rspolter@gmail.com, and we'll dedicate this learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.